for that purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but on the other hand, people who pirate games, like 90% of them, are people who don't have the money to buy the game anyways, and they wouldn't play it unless they pirated it.
And that would be me.
I don't play the game unless I can afford it, dude. I mean, like,
I don't play.
I don't make any money, dude.
Really. And online games you can't pirate.
Help me!
I only buy a game if it has like a badass multiplayer. If not, I just rip it from the net, freaking beat it, and delete it off my computer.
Well, you can legally download a pirated game and play it for 24 hours and remove it from your computer and you're completely in the clear. It's like a demo.
What law is that?
I don't know which law it is, I just know a bunch of my friends who've done that and actually got letters telling from their internet providers knowing that they downloaded that particular file or game. And they notify
that's just more or less that's
copyright
covering
holders.
their ass. Like if like that's kind of like a 3-strike rule, because I had a buddy, he got our fucking internet caught twice like that. The second time I had to go in because the account was in my name and sign a letter saying like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, we won't steal movies, etc etc. Like just a bunch of fucking bullshit. And if it happened again, like they would just like terminated our account. But he gets all his stuff from torrents instead of being smart about it.
What's messed up is I've got all kinds of games on my Steam account. I downloaded Total War, Medieval 2, and Total War Shogun, I think. Anyways, it was 2 Total War games. And my internet service provider, they jumped me, said I pirated 1 Total War game as like Shogun 2, which I hadn't even played yet. So they were jumping me for downloading games that I own. Dude, I got pissed. They never got on to me again for anything like that.
If you have on Steam, I would have emailed them and say, I would have emailed and said, this is my rights to have this game, this is my rights to download the game where I downloaded it from. You can go to your Steam account, go to all games, right click on just any background of it, go to URL, or copy URL, open up the URL on a on like a browser and say, these are the games that I own, this is my account, this is under my name, and these games, like as seen listed, are the games I have the rights to play, and I own the rights to play.
Yeah.
And they cannot stop you regardless of where you're downloading it from.
Well, I called them and told them what happened because they threatened to cut my internet off. If I don't have internet, I like hyperventilate. They get on to me sometimes when, like after I live stream, they're like, "You have a virus on your computer. Why? Because you there's so much uploading from your account." Gonna tell them it's nerve damage, and all I do is sit and play games, and I do this live streaming. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I pay for a speed, not a quantity.
Before. Yeah. Like, they're like, you upload so much. I was like, where in your contract does it say that I'm, like, limited amount of bandwidth that I can use, like, upload, download? Well, it doesn't say that, but it's kind of unfair to everybody else. I was like, nope, sorry, pay you for a service. Hung up on them.
Yeah, well, they jumped me last time I reformatted and I downloaded like 600 gigs worth of games off my Steam list. They jumped me for that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what they do.
Till the very end.
But I try to avoid like talking to like customer service and crap like that at all costs, just because the amount of stuff I download. Like, I'll go in no specifics, but like it's.
Yes, because you are on the
I'll
air.
probably save myself like 100K. Yeah.
The only games that I ever, like, quote, pirate are games that you can't find anymore. Like,
oh yeah, like
Net
I'll
Commander?
definitely search for like old games.
Net Commander, Mech Warrior 2, things like that. I own copies of them, I just don't know where they are. Was there anything illegal? Nothing that can be proven. Nothing here.
I guess I just turned my cheek on it, like, when it comes down to some companies like that. Damn it, help me, dude. Just turn around and kill him.
When it comes to like programs and crap.
Like if it's a $50 program, that's a reasonable program, it's good, I'll buy it, you know?
Yeah, it's like Photoshop, I love that program, I use it a lot, this and that. But you know what, I'm not going to pay like $200 for that program. Just because the majority of people who use it are like big businesses and college kids.
I still have my student version.
Yeah.
I still use CS3. Creative Suite 3.
Yeah, I had a class, our teacher was like, yeah, it's like everybody needs to get CAD, blah, 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 and everybody's like, you know how much CAD is? He's like, well, you don't have to buy a textbook. I'm like, I plugged in one of my flash drives.
I'm going to be paying off my student loans for the next decade, and I couldn't even finish my courses because of this nerve damage.
Yeah.
But I still got all that cool software that I wouldn't ever got any other way. Like 3ds Max, Photoshop, Coral Paint, Sony Vegas is 8 or 9.
I love Sony Vegas. Best thing about Sony Vegas, if you steal it and like it's registered and stuff, they'll still send you updates. Like, oh, here, we don't care.
I got a legit copy.
Yeah, like, I want to buy, like, Sony Vegas. Like, I know, like, it's a little expensive,
send you a free trial. Like, anybody who owns it can send free trials to their friends for, like, 30 days. And you can
well, that's the thing, is, like I said, I don't like pirating, but if it's expensive, you know, I'll pirate it. But, I mean, even when if it's expensive, if I use it a lot, or if I find that I'm making money off of it, I will pay. But the problem is what I'll do is, I will, like, for Sony Vegas, I will pirate it, and then when I get enough money, I will buy it. You know, if, like, with my YouTube account, I'm making money. When I get the money made, like, when I make the money back that I've earned from using Sony Vegas is when I'll buy Sony Vegas. So that first money, the first thing I do with that money is go and buy the stuff I've had to use, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was going to school for game art and design, so I got pretty much all the big software that you need to do anything like that. I was going...
Like, I try to be as honest and loyal as I can, like, respecting other companies and shit. So even though I could easily just pirate and never pay for it, I kind of pride myself off being honest, you know, and just being a good guy.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit around stealing software and crap, you know. Like, I don't want to set a bad example for my daughter anytime, anywhere, or the whole time she's growing up.
Yeah, but past the software thing, like, the only other programs I will pirate is if I can't buy them anymore.
Yeah, like I was talking about Met
if they're not
Commander
making money off of it, I don't feel sorry. If they're not making money off of it, they're not selling them anymore. They've already made their money, and they're still gonna throw a little bitch fit. I have no sympathy for them. It's like, you know what? Maybe you guys, if you want to throw a bitch fit about it, at least do the second part and at least sell it, or sell the item still, so so you can bitch about not making money off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like old console
Because they're not going to
games,
make money off it anyway. Like
like
here's
I
a
get them
great
on
example:
emulators.
Earthbound. I bought Earthbound way back in the day. You know, it was one of my favorite NES or Super NES games. It was stolen from me a long time ago, but I would seriously buy one, like a brand new version of it from them if I could. But the problem is that they don't make it anymore, and it's not even on the virtual Wii console. Like, you can't download it on the Wii. It's not out.
So I'd like to get my copy of Harvest Moon for the 64 back, but it's a collector's because there's not a lot of them out there. So it's like $300 freaking dollars to buy that from some of these hobby boutique places. So I just downloaded it on an emulator. I mean, they don't make it anymore, because I tried to find out how to special order it. I couldn't find how. I even called Nintendo of America, and they said they didn't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to like emulators and stuff, I'm a big advocate for that, because it's almost impossible to find like 90% like the old video games and stuff anymore.
I had the entire NES and Super NES collection, except for like the super rare games, and my house burnt down when I was 16 and I lost all of that. I was a huge collector. I mean, I collected like Pokemon cards, I collected video games, I had two entire sets of the original D&D books. Those things right now are worth a lot of money. But when my house burnt when I was 16, lost all of that. I'm just glad nobody got hurt.
I need to go back to town. I'm ready.
Yeah,
well, like, when it comes down to Earthbound, it's like, I used to own that game. It was stolen from me. I no longer have it, but it's so expensive. Like, I can't afford $300 or $200, or just for the cartridge, they're selling it for $80, and the cartridge should be more like, I don't know, $60, or, you know, 40. Because the cartridge, I mean, it's not as hard to find as people think. The hard part about that game, and this is why it's sold so high, and why people think it's just automatically expensive, is it's finding the box, the book, and the game all together. That's the only reason it's expensive, because a lot of people either destroyed their books, don't have the books anymore, or just whatever the fuck they've done with them, you know.
If you have those things,
it's only expensive if you have the full set.
If you get that stuff in plastic wrap, like when my house burnt, I had 3 copies of Final Fantasy 1. 2 of them were in plastic wrap. The other one, I didn't have the booklet, but I had the box in the game. Because I like to play the stuff I collected. Those are worth a lot of money. And I got them from flea markets. That's where I found them. I gotta repair.
Found some interesting things on my latest dig. You should take a look.
God, I hate you don't get freaking retaliation as a warrior until freaking level 62 now. I hate how they just spread apart like all these freaking abilities when they redid shit. It's not better than pulling like as many mobs as you can before you get like dazed off the mount or something. Just pop in retail and eat them all up.
Yeah, I think didn't that ability used to, even if you got hit from the back, it would do damage? Now it doesn't.
If you attack the warrior, it pokes you.
Unless you're behind the warrior now. Let's go kill this guy.
Right though, it's kinda...
I'll pirate Japanese games that aren't released in the US, games that you can't buy in the US, games you can't find anymore, or games I own or have owned and never stolen. Because in my opinion, it's like, I bought them, and I mean, I know I can't prove it, but me, I'm personally against buying games that were stolen that I have owned at least once.
If I can find them, and it's not outrageous, I'll buy the actual game, like from a collector or something. But if you can't find